if you buy one of these shirts. The one that I have that's more faded, that's like the original, but this is my wife's, and I take it from her and I wear it. That's how I do it. Because she's not here. She doesn't know. She won't know until she sees this video. Let's get into the video. We're talking about James Lindsay exposing the wokeness of academia. Not even just the wokeness, the silliness, the ridiculousness of academia. As it goes, it just becomes more and more woke, more and more ridiculous, more and more accepting of silly ideas in the name of inclusion. And James Lindsay is pretty good at what he did. I'm just gonna let him tell the story. I'm mind blown by it myself. I did not even know that you could do this, because when I think of academia, I think of such professional, intelligent people who you can't get parodies by, you can't get silliness by, people you can't troll. But I was completely wrong. Let's get into the video. But first, of course, I got to bring you to the store. This is the Great Resist t-shirt, my latest design. You know about the Great Reset? Join the Great Resist. We have the sold not for sale category as well. You guys know what's in here: tank tops, t-shirts, hoodies, and sweaters. Every single purchase helps us so much, and if you're one of those people, you are greatly appreciated. Let's get into the clip.
Of course, I was here before, and we talked about those fake papers that Peter and Helen
Let's tell everybody what those are, just because it's an amazing source of enjoyment and entertainment for folks that are looking for something to read.
Right. So we don't lose the point real quick. We did in less than 10 months the almost equivalent of a whole academic career in this stuff, and we're amateurs.
And
so
you did it as a joke, and it got passed off as real, and then actually applauded.
That's right. So we wrote 20 fake academic papers in these exact fields: critical race theory,
so we should tell Peter Boghossian did it with you, and
Helen
is Pluckrose.
Yeah, Pluckrose.
Pluckrose.
Yeah, the second most English name
and she
ever.
Wrote Cynical Theories with you.
Yeah. So
that's a very English name.
It is a very English name. So we wrote these papers to try to show that this scholarship is bogus.
Right.
And so we spent just under a year writing crazy stuff.
Please tell people the dog park one.
You love them. So the dog park paper was actually, I think, kind of the masterpiece of the thing. So we wrote this paper where we claimed that we were a feminist researcher who spent 1,000 hours in Portland, Oregon dog parks over the course of 1 year. Never in the heavy rain. We put that in the paper, never in the heavy rain, like that's some relevant detail or something. So 1,000 hours over a year is already ridiculous. That's like 6 hours a day, every day.
That's so much time.
I know. And what we said she did was she watched dog humping incidents and tried to determine when they counted as dog rapes and when they didn't.
What's the name of the paper, though?
Oh, it was what was it? Queer performativity and how's it go? Because they had all the buzzwords, right?
Yeah, heteronormative was in there.
Yeah, that's right. Queer performativity in urban dog parks in Portland, Oregon. Rape culture and queer performativity. That's what it was. Rape culture. Yeah. So we had we said that she watched these dog fights and dog rapes and all this stuff, and we put this crazy stuff in there, like sometimes they try to break up a dog fight by doing jumping jacks by the dog or singing songs, and just ridiculous. And the dogs were pooping on each other. We put that in the paper. And then we said when there was a dog humping, that she would go up and she would inspect the dog's genitals, and she inspected 10,000 dogs' genitals and then interrogated the owners about their sexual orientations. And what she wanted to find out was if straight men would discourage gay dog humping versus straight dog humping, and it was different for women and gay men. And then we said we're going to pass that data through black feminist criminology, which makes no sense. And then we said that the conclusion was that dog parks are petri dishes of canine rape culture, and that they are rape condoning spaces just like human nightclubs. So human nightclubs are automatically now rape condoning spaces. And so the conclusion was that we now have to train men the way that we train dogs, with like leashes and shock collars and things, in order to get rape culture to go away. And they give this an award. And so it's like this, the bullshit level is just insane.
What was the award?
So they had a thing. It was their anniversary. The journal is the #1 feminist geography journal in the world. And there was their 25th anniversary
What's
edition.
the name of the journal?
Gender, Place, and Culture. And it's the leading feminist geography journal in the world. And they had their 25th year, so they're on their 25th anniversary. And so what they wanted to do was highlight one paper per issue the entire year as being exemplary scholarship in feminist geography. And ours was chosen. I can tell you, man, it was the craziest thing ever. I remember, I'm almost positive it was May 7th, 2018. I got the email. And it's like, I can remember. It's just like, go in the house. I was out doing like yard work or something, and I come in and I check my email. And I just remember like gaping at the screen. I'm like, this can't be happening. Because I just saw the editor and I'm like, oh no, they figured it out, right? And we're going to give it an award. And so I grab, because we're making a documentary about it, right? So we got a filmmaker, Mike Nana. He's the one that did that 3-part documentary of Evergreen that showed everybody that's where everybody's evergreen now. And so Mike, it was like, anything that happens, film it. So I grabbed my GoPro and I have this footage and it's like sideways because I didn't even like think about it. And I'm just like running outside trying to find my wife. I'm like, you aren't going to believe this. You aren't going to believe this. Oh my gosh. There's a really freaking crazy, like it's almost like the world slid off of its foundation a little bit when they gave that paper an award for me. It was just so weird.
Well, you nailed it.
We did.
You really nailed it. You came so close to reality, but yet still lived in the world of parody.
That's right.
But you said all the things that you need. It just shows that there's such a high tolerance for bullshit.
That's right.
In those air quotes disciplines.
Right. And those air quotes disciplines are now being like mainlined into like every university, every school, every corporate boardroom.
How did that happen?
We were talking about, the raising the frequency thing when these events happen. But mostly it's that they took over our colleges of education about 1980. And
this is actually crazy. I pulled up that journal that he's actually talking about that gave him the award. Here's one of the articles that they have. It says the impact of lesbian bar ownership on the USA lesbian bar geographies, all gender / straight integrated LGBTQ places by design. Every single article seems like it's exactly another one. It's fat boys make you feel thinner. Fat GBQ men's comfort and stigma in UK bear squares. Just wild stuff. Like they're probably still getting conned and they don't even realize it. There's probably another few people who are getting conned. And here's the thing that's really wild about this is that they came forward and they admitted that it was a hoax and that they were just they're lying about it and everything. They came forward. What if they didn't? What if they didn't come forward? What if they just accepted the award and pushed for funding and got the funding to the tune of, let's say $100,000, $250,000 to do this research? How much is that happening right now? How much are people because these guys just made it up. They didn't do it, and they didn't have to prove that they did anything. They didn't have to prove that they inspected the dogs like they said. They didn't have to prove that they interrogated anybody about their gender. They didn't have to prove anything. They just wrote it. And that was it. It became fact once they wrote it. So they could have got money. They could have got a lot of money. How much is this happening right now in today's academia? Like, this kind of makes me want to do this. I could write a paper. I could get my wife to write a great paper just on nonsense and get money. Possibly get money. They're very nice to not actually have stepped into it. Comfort feminism and the cruelty of a post-racial monarchy in Britain. Wow. Clean bodies, dirty work, discomfort and house cleaning labor at a university in the U.S. South. Just, wow. This is and you can't get access to all of them. Some of them are open access, some of them aren't. Wow. Here, let me actually show you guys this. Let me pull it up. I can pull it up on something. Let's see here. Switch Spotify. There you go. This is so silly. Let me bring my screen down here for you guys. This stuff is silly. This is just silly stuff. It's a legit website. You just write in gender, place, and culture. They're under a WordPress. And human, non-human home. What does that say? Regional, cosmopolitan exploration of intersex identity in the ministry of utmost happiness. Oh man, this one's actually access. Look, let's go in here. Let's check one out. And that's the whole thing for me that makes me feel like, let me make this smaller for you guys. That's the whole thing that makes me like, oh, this is really scary. Because how many people are doing this? How much of the stuff how many times have you heard somebody say experts say, and this is what they're talking about? I've done my research, and this is what they're talking about. How many times? This is what it could be every time. I don't even want to read this. Such nonsensical terminology. Despite heightened stigmatization of fatness in gay, bisexual, and queer men's spaces, geographers have yet to explore the nexus of men, sexualities, and fatness. Oh man. Bear is a term used to describe a set of global identities, communities, and bodies of GBQ. I didn't even know you could just say that. GBQ men who are, I can't even, they shorten it. They're smart. That community knows how to navigate, because usually, like, you could hear Trudeau and all sorts of people saying LGBT, like SLGBTQAI plus, and they have to say all that every time. But you could shorten it if you want. This is according to the people who actually come up with this nonsense. Men who are usually large and hairy. That's a bear. Spaces created. He's very inclusive. But non-geographic research has investigated such men's experiences in them. Oh, this is not even edited well. In them, this paper presents findings from Bear Space. Wow. This is, I'm not going to say it's fake, because I can't say that. Like, somebody, maybe they took the time and this was important to them, but it damn sure could be fake. That's for sure. Check it out. Check it out if you want to have a good laugh, or if you want to learn something. Maybe you want to learn about GBQ spaces for bears and stuff like that. Maybe you want to know about that. And you could look that article up. You could write, "Fat boys make you feel thinner." So for anybody who's a part of that community, you can learn about this a little bit. Or if you want to write a paper yourself about anything, you could obviously visit Gender, Place, and Culture, and they'll for sure post your stuff, because they just don't know what they're doing. And you know what? I shouldn't even say that. Maybe they do know what they're doing. And that's another point. Maybe they do know what they're doing. Because how much do they get paid? Like, if you keep writing articles for this space all the time, how much do they get? Like, they get recognized, they get awards, maybe the same type of thing. Maybe they get funding. Who knows? Or maybe they can help people get funding. I don't know. I'm sure if you followed the money in this space of academia, you'd be surprised where you'd end up. Very surprised. But I just wanted to show you that fun clip of that guy talking about writing fake articles and actually winning an award. And yeah, it's just a fun one. Other than that, and it's fun and scary. Like the video. It helps so much. You have no idea. I got to start saying that at the beginning. I always forget. But if you've watched this far, thank you so much. Like the video. Other than that, I am out.